This video describes some of the general qualities of the table of contents. Now, the table of contents, as you see right here, labeled table of contents, makes it easy to identify. What it is just like the table of contents of a book, which its purpose is to give the reader an understanding of what is going to be shared and what order, basically managing the content of the book. Well, for the table of contents in ArcMap, what it's doing is it's providing the user with a way to manage that which is being depicted within the view right here. And you'll see that up to the top right here, there are a couple of icons. Let's go through. List by drawing order, it's simply showing you what is being presented, but also in what order respective of other pieces of information, layers of information. And we will get into that a little bit more in just a minute. But moving along here, list by source, when we click on that, you're going to see that we have identified where the data is located. And this is very, very useful because trust me, when you're working with a lot of GIS data and you got a lot of different sources, and say something seems like not working and you got to figure out if it's a pathway error or whatever, very, very useful. Now, moving along here, list by visibility, simply telling you what is visible, what's not. Moving along to list by selection, again, pretty intuitive right here. Identifying what can be selected, and what that means is that as you have the ability to, say, for instance, graphically click on something, will a particular layer be selected if it's clicked on, or will you simply want it to be ignored when you're trying to select something? And then finally, right over here, table of content options, just some additional functionality that's available, customizing for the table of contents. Now, moving back over here to the very first icon, listing by drawing order. Right now, it is depicting that, well, cities, of course, is being shown on top, followed by rivers and country, and this raster imagery of the Earth physiographic features. Now, picture you have a deck of cards, and let's just say these cards are maybe transparent or translucent. For those of you who are from an older generation, we used to use transparencies in school, and those are kind of going to the wayside. Oh well, time moves on. But what you're doing is you're taking one layer and you're stacking it on top of another on top of another. And so dealing with cartography, there is an art there when it comes to how much information you can share, visually. So anyway, that's actually that's another video. But if you want to turn things on and off, all we have to do is just click on the check boxes and you can turn things off. Now, the data is there. It's just been made invisible, so you haven't lost anything. And we can turn them back on again. Or, for instance, for cities, you can take layers and you can move them around. And now cities is underneath country. So it's there somewhere, but it's underneath the countries. And if I want to, I can bring it back up like so. And by the way, as mentioned in previous videos, every now and then you'll notice that I will click over here in the open area, so that way it unselects layers that were just selected. Now, some other things you can do in the table of contents that are easy to perform is if you click on any one of these icons, you're going to see that a symbol selector is going to come up, and if you just quickly want to increase the size of, say, the cities, and maybe change the color. Black is pretty intense. Let's turn it into a nice green here. There. Now, why would I do something like that? Well, for demonstration purposes only. And I want to make this a little bit less intense on the eyes. I could turn it back into something, say, for instance, like a lighter blue. Change the size. Like so. There. And now it's much nicer. So you have that option there also.